All right, guys, you know why we're here. We are working on the XR650R to get it ready to go pre-running in Mexico. If you watched the first video, we took apart the front end, greased the bearings. I didn't really show you the greasing the bearings, but I greased the bearings, rebuilt the forks, all new SKF seals through that thing, installed a Mako 360, which is not made for this, but Lance is rad, and he talked me through measuring everything and figuring out which one would work. Got that done with the steering stabilizer. Got our Hondo Garage Radical mount set up here. Focus. Focus. Oh, it's so annoying. Focus on the Hondo Garage. There we go. You guys need a phone mount. This one is the key. I talked to lots of guys who do way more stuff with their phones on the bars than me, and that is the one. The anti-vibe thing helps you not kill the camera inside your iPhone. And every other part of this thing is badass billet aluminum, machined and built in Montana, in the United States. So radical part there. Today we are going to be replacing the swing arm and taking the carburetor off and taking the shock off and installing a new clutch cable. So yeah, and then we're still waiting on wheels from Warp 9. They should be here hopefully this week, and then we get that done. So let's take this thing apart. We're gonna get the exhaust off. Already got the wheel off. Then we'll start taking things apart. These bikes are kind of crazy with how you got to get the shock off and the swing arm. It's not all that straightforward. So exhaust is off, and a note that a couple years ago I rebuilt this bike. I went through the whole thing, and I had to like re-affix the inner tube in here because it rattled completely loose. This is a big gun exhaust. I actually really like these for this bike. I don't think you can get them anymore. At least not without going through like eBay or something like that. But it's a wicked exhaust. Boom. There we go. Out of the way, that's good. Because I got to do that to get the shock out to then get the swing arm off. It's a crazy process. Woohoo! We got the swing arm off. It is a process on these bikes. We got it off. Clearly, it's super dirty. I'm going to be doing my best to get that clean, guys, but it's probably not going to get all that clean. But a lot of that dirt is coming from the fact that the carburetor was leaking. So that's just dirt and muck built up there. I don't think we lost a countershaft seal. I do have one coming just in case. I also have a kickstart seal coming. Probably ought to get a shift shaft seal too. So anyway, no big deal. I got brand new chain sprockets from Primary Drive, which I'm really happy about because this one's worn out. The rear one was super worn out. Chain was worn out. So time for that. But let me show you why we are replacing this. Years ago, I took this thing apart. Hang on, just a second. So years ago, I took this bike apart to rebuild it. Lots and lots of years ago, I took everything apart to go through everything, and the chain had chewed through this. So I pushed the bearings out, I put new bearings in, and I poured JB Weld on it. And amazingly enough, it looks like it's actually held up. But it's time for that to go. My dear friend Patrick Hemperly gave me a swing arm, and actually I just went through it, and the thing is incredibly good. It's in incredibly good shape. So that's done. We're done with that thing. Even this chain guide is probably junk. I might try to bend it and maybe use it. I don't know. It's got a good chain guide on it though. It's got the OEM Honda one that's actually pretty good. It's plastic. You can break it, but at least it doesn't have any metal in it. So this thing obviously needs some love, but we're gonna go through it. I'm gonna drop it into the ultrasonic, and then we're gonna take all these bearings apart, or all these linkage and everything apart, because I checked the bearings. The bearings are actually all greasy and happy. So I'm gonna take all that apart, clean it really good in the ultrasonic, re-grease everything, and then reinstall it. So I'm not going to show you guys all of that specifically. That's just not that terribly exciting. So yeah, let's get to work. All right, guys, I got the swing arm on. Let me just show you a couple things here. Sorry, there's no point in me filming all of the steps. But first of all, I do want to show you something interesting. So right down there is the lower chain roller. So the one that was on there was completely hammered and blown apart, just like junk. So I went and found one in our back parts room. It was a little too big around. It had like an extra layer, and I was able to actually just cut that layer off and make it the right size. It's not perfectly round, but that's good. You can't see that from here. But I got that on there. I've been putting stuck nuts, red stuck nuts, on literally every bolt. I had these bolts. There's 3 bolts on here, these 2, and then 1 back here for the kickstand, which you have to take off to get that bolt out for the linkage. The linkage nuts all have stuck nuts on it. Everything is getting stuck nuts on it. We got the carburetor off. Let's go look at that thing. People always ask me what carburetor should I run on my XR. I have a little story. So I was in Mexico for the 1000. I had a Mikuni pumper, anyway, TMX pumper. Anyway, there's a Mikuni accelerator pump carburetor on there because that's what everybody said was the hot ticket. I struggled like crazy to get the thing to run right. I did finally get it running pretty good. I get to Mexico, I walk over to the factory Honda XR650, and guess what carburetor it had on it? That one right there. So I felt like a moron. I was like, so obviously if it's good enough for Johnny Campbell, I think I'm just gonna run it. So I run the stock Kean round slide. It works fine. I got it all apart because it was leaking a bit, guys, and I need to jet it. This is a common problem right here. This gasket here, the float bowl gasket, gets flat, and this one is for sure. Also, the needle wasn't sealing all that well, so we got a new one of these things coming. Make sure you subscribe, guys, because I will be showing you that. We're going to be rebuilding that. I don't have the parts quite yet. Got that from Tusk, from Rocky Mountain. And yeah, bike is kind of looking, but it's actually getting pretty darn close, amazingly enough. I know it doesn't look like it, but it's really close. The motor is super fresh. I just built that not long ago. I got the front end all done. Yeah, like I said, swing arms on. You guys saw the JB welded part. I'll show you this one. Even came with a brand new, not brand new, but a very good shape rub guide. So this is all nice and thick down there. It's going to protect that thing. Got to get this off of here. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode of prepping the Baja 1000 XR650R. I'm going to clean up my tools and sadly let this thing sit here because I don't have wheels, and I'm waiting on those carb parts. But then we're getting close. Oh yeah, I got a new fender coming, a new rear fender because that one's broken. That should be here this week too. So guys, we're getting close. Baja 1000 is coming. I cannot wait. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because we're going to be going live from Mexico. We're going to be doing all kinds of cool content down there. It's going to be freaking awesome. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to have a Starlink, so I'll be able to reach out to you guys even when I'm way out in the middle of nowhere. I'm really excited about that. So yeah, thanks guys. Hope to see you on the next one.